All right, let's watch this. Stolen West Bank property being sold in New York.
I'm an IDF vet. I was just fighting in Gaza for the IDF.
Bro, you should be in jail. There's nothing funnier to me than like a dude rocking IDF gear next to an Israeli flag telling counter protesters to go back to Paterson, New Jersey. What does that mean? I think Paterson, New Jersey is like a heavy Muslim area or something. But it's like, bro, you're literally wearing an IDF jersey next to the Israeli flag, barely over 5'2", telling people to go back to somewhere else. It's like, bitch, where the are you from? Little guy. Where are you from, little guy? Where are you from, little man? There's nothing more ironic than saying that as a Jewish person in 2024 on U.S. soil when America historically literally refused to take in Jewish refugees that were escaping the Nazi regime. Like the idea that you're like, no one wanted you, lol. It's like, bro, your great-grandfather was almost murked by the Nazis on the same soil that you are now chirping in the exact same Hitlerian way. How stupid are you, dude? Do you not know your own people's history? What are we doing here? How ridiculous. Bro, it is no different than like the American Bund movement, okay? Yelling at like Jews with a megaphone in like the 1930s being like, nobody wants you. America doesn't want you here.
There's a real estate sale selling stolen property which was stolen, for stolen land that was stolen from the Palestinian people. Now this is recognized internationally as illegal settlements, at least some of it. And this is, as Jewish people, we should not steal and we should not sell stolen property. We should not share property that has been stolen. According to Judaism, if one shares with a thief, is considered a thief. And especially when this is happening in this time, while this genocide is taking place in Gaza, which is only making everything worse.
Wow, this guy's a real anti-Semite, man. Classic anti-Semitic tendency coming from this dude, you know? Where are the cops? They need to kill this man immediately. In an effort to defend Jewish people, we must immediately sick the rabid dogs of the state on this dude.
I'm not Jewish, so I need you to tell me, explain this to me.
It's either a financial practice, or a political one, or a criminal one. Yeah. But nothing to do with religion, and I'll explain you why in a synagogue. Because the movement of Zionism since day one is misusing religion to justify all crimes it is committing. While the movement of Zionism is officially secular. They don't even claim to be religious. Yeah. And why do they misuse the religion? Just in order to to confuse the masses, to have the world think and believe as if.
I don't know if these guys are directly Neturei Karta, but there are many Hasidic sects, like many Orthodox Jewish sects, that under the tenets of Judaism consider Israel and consider Zionism to be abhorrent. Some because they find it unconscionable that Jews in the name of Judaism would go and kill so many people. Oh, it says NKUSA. They are Neturei Karta. So the thing is, yeah, they are Neturei Karta, NKUSA.org. These guys also personally believe that Jews, according to Judaism, are to remain stateless until the Messiah comes. So they find it to be heretical to do an advocacy for a Jewish ethno-state specifically. So there's also a religious, like a theological underpinning to their movement. And beyond that, there's also obviously like developed sympathies towards the Palestinian plight as a consequence of being on the right side of history. What is Neturei Karta? Neturei Karta is one sect of ultra-Orthodox Judaism. Orthodox Judaism is a relatively new invention inside of Judaism. Ironic, because like you would think that these guys are the older sect, but it's actually a newer sect of Judaism in comparison to how long Judaism has been around. However, obviously ultra-Orthodox Judaism also goes in the other direction as well. So make no mistake, if you go to New York, if you go to like an ultra-Orthodox community in New York, like the dudes who built the Chabad tunnels, right? Like those guys are very pro-Israel. Make no mistake, there is much discourse amongst Orthodox Jews, as well as Jews as a whole. Neturei Karta is also less of a sect and more of a political group within the Litvak Haredi Judaism. They aren't Hasidic. Not all Orthodox are Hasidic. I thought it was all Orthodox. If you're Haredi, Haredi is like a more aggro version of just like being Orthodox Orthodox. Like Ben Shapibo is an Orthodox Jew. So he follows, obviously everybody keeps kosher. He, does the burning of the kitchen and Hasidic is Haredi, but not all Haredi are Hasidic. This, I genuinely don't know the distinction between. Yes, you're right about Haredi. Hasidic is a mystical form of Orthodox Judaism. Hasidim are mixed on Zionism depending on their specific sect. You got these wonderful people in the video and the nutcases in the West Bank, some of which also follow Hasidic sect. You also have Orthodox Jews in Jerusalem that are also a part of either Neturei Karta or other sects inside of Orthodox Judaism that are also very anti-apartheid. That's why you see dudes that look like him getting beat up by the Israeli police force on a regular basis inside of Israel. My point is, these guys believe that there is no theological justification for Jews to have a nation state, let alone an ethno state, let alone in the historic land that Israel is built on top of, and that they will naturally, throughout the course of history, once the Messiah returns, be granted a nation state when the time comes. Beyond that, there are obviously like different kinds of Orthodox sects that believe that the Messiah is here, like the dudes that were building the tunnels. I think those are one of the Messiah guys, right? Like the ultra-Orthodox Jews that believe that the Messiah actually is a real person that came. Chabad Lubavitch. The Chabad Lubavitch guys are not pro-Palestine at all, and those guys are the very right-wing Orthodox Jews that you hear from time to time. The ones specifically in New York that have a lot of issues with education, get state funding, and also have like their own version of the police force and inside of NYPD. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it goes to show that the notion that Jews are monolithic in their understanding, or Jews are monolithic as a whole, is probably one of the most anti-Semitic and also ahistorical perspectives that you could have on Judaism. What's the joke? It's like 2 Jews, 8 opinions or something. Like, it's just Judaism in and of itself is the most debate-lord religion of all time. 2 Jews, 3 opinions. Obviously, the notion that all Jews are monolithic in their approach to Judaism, all Jews are monolithic in their understanding of Israel could not be far from the truth. And, very, very frustrating that people present it as such. Wouldn't that be like saying all Christians are the same? Yes. But even more so, especially inside of Judaism, a big part of like the analysis of the Talmud literally revolves around debating it. Debate is literally baked into not just the Jewish culture in general, but like baked into the religion. They're OG debate lords in general.
But nobody can say that what we are presenting is new. We are presenting traditional Judaism. People might today, for one reason or another, choose something else, which is the choice of the individual, which I discourage.
See? Debate lord, bro. Do you understand me? Is in a permanent state of debate. He's like, listen, you could disagree with me. I discourage it, but you could disagree with me nonetheless. I'm telling you, dude, it's the most debate lord religion out there, straight up. It's also very fun. It's like Mormonism in the way that you have so many different like loopholes and
Yeah. So wait, which side are you on? This side or the other
On the
side?
other side, on the wrong side.
You're on the other side and the wrong
We're
side?
on the side that doesn't rape women.
Other side, okay.
we're on the side that doesn't rape women. Bro, you're wearing a IDF jersey. Weird.
Fat Am, you think they would take me? They would never take me.
No, yeah,
The IDF guys are like, come on,
Yeah.
they're like buff.
Yeah.
Camera guys laugh.
Yeah, they don't
Oh my God, he said they would never take me. The IDF guys are buff. Oh my God.
If I want to dance with you and you don't want to reciprocate,
you don't want
I-
to
How are we gonna dance?
He doesn't
no,
wanna
but,
dance.
but listen,
So
listen.
the Palestinian people, they don't want to dance.
Well, listen,
you
I've
know what
read-
they want? They want blood, Jewish blood on their hands.
Let's just take that aside. I've read the truth about Camp David. I've read about the Camp David Accords. Also, I've read about all these.
It's more
I've
than
tried
just the
to.
Camp David Accords.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
recently, you have the Abraham Accords. You have so much. You have.
My man said Abraham Accords. That's all you need to know. He said, oh, Camp David. Well, what about the Abraham Accords? It's like, bro, the Abraham Accords does not feature Palestinians. Like, it was not done with any envoy or Palestinian representation.
For national security reasons, we should take Reza. We should take West Bank, and they need to go. Otherwise, we're never going to be safe. Or you have the side that's like, you know what? Give them their own state as long as they're not trying to kill us.
Okay, so
Bro, even this like the way he's asking this question is like so deliberately. He's asking that in the kindest way to invoke like I would say it's going above and beyond. Oh, as long as like would you give the Palestinians their own state as long as they did like promise not to kill the Israelis? Like he is trying so hard to get him to agree with him. Like the generous way to frame this. Let's see what they respond with.
I would love to support a two-state solution, but currently, if you have a leading government okay, i.e. Hamas, as they have brought them to power in 2005. And in Hamas's charter, it clearly states to kill all the Jewish people. How can you promote a peace and a two-state solution? In my mind, I don't think it's gonna fly.
This is such projection, dude. They don't hate Jews. They hate Israel. Sometimes also Jews, because Israel says that they're killing their families for Judaism. It's Israel that they hate. And they don't learn to hate Israel at school. They learn to hate Israel when the school is blown up. Also, oh my God, that's such a good point. It is crazy to make this argument outside of an auction of West Bank homes. Oh my God. I forgot that they're literally having this conversation at a real estate auction of Palestinian homes in historic Palestinian land that Israel is currently unjustifiably and illegally occupying, and American Jews basically looking at that as cheap real estate that they're going to purchase. This is exactly what I mean when I say the average Zionist doesn't know what Zionism is. The myth of Palestinians and Arabs will always hate us, so there's nothing we can do is so strong. You don't even have to define to yourself what Zionism is beyond Israel good, Jewish state good, and what its consequences are. Oh yeah, maybe that's why he's saying my neighbor would be Palestinian. He's like, I can't wait to go settle in the West Bank. My neighbor will be Palestinian Arab. I will have taken his uncle's home.
And then when you're talking about the West Bank, okay, Jews lived in the West Bank. And you have so much proof from the Torah, even from the Bible. Where was Jesus born? Jesus was a Jew. But apparently on TikTok, apparently on Instagram, Jesus was Palestinian. Jesus was a Jew born in Nazareth.
Bro, it's always like they were asking for it. They were begging for it. This guy looks Arab, North African, crazy really? No, it's not crazy at all. It's not even remotely crazy. That's why I always say the notion that like Judaism is an ethno-religion that contains other ethnicities outside of like Eastern European under it. Eastern European Jews and Western European Jews are Ashkenazi Jews, whereas Mizrahi sects of Jews are literally Arab Jews, and even some Sephardi Jews are also Arab Jews. But if you have a conversation with a Zionist person in Israel, they literally cannot comprehend what you're saying. They're like, what? No. Like they think you're dissing them when you say Itamar Ben-Gvir is literally of Arab descent. They go, no, he's not. He's Jew. Why would you say that he's Arab? It's like, bro, he's from Iraq. They think I'm insulting the person by lowering their status. When I say someone is of Arab background, when I say someone is Jewish, of Arab descent, of Arab background, they think I am lowering their status. This dude is the same. If he didn't have a kippah on, NYPD would be beating his ass because they'd be like, all right, Mohammed, he is more MENA than I am. On a lineup, if you ask a racist NYPD police officer whose skull needs to be cracked, they crack his skull before mine. They'd be like, nope, that's the Muslim right there. A lot of the Persian Jews that I know out here in Los Angeles, this is the largest Persian Jewish diaspora on the planet. They've all been brutalized in different ways because they are suspected of being Iranian Muslim. And yet they are some of the biggest dick riders of Israel.
Is it the Israeli government or Hamas?
Hamas doesn't run the West Bank.
Hamas runs Gaza. I'm not talking about the West Bank.
But what about the West Bank?
Well,
then?
the Palestinian Authority has most control of the West Bank.
You know, like if we can acknowledge what that is and say like, all right, that shouldn't
Have you
be.
seen videos?
Technically, all Muslims are of Jewish descent. Yes. I wouldn't say all, but most. I mean, it literally is it's an Abrahamic religion. All of the Palestinians that remained in that area that converted to Christianity and then later on converted to Islam are literally direct descendants. Those motherfuckers are the direct descendants. Those living in Gaza right now are descendants of the early Jewish population. They first converted to Christianity and then later converted to Islam.
Whenever you refer to a prison, you're talking about people who live in poverty. So where is the
So
poverty?
Reza, they don't.
Where's the poverty?
There's a ton of poverty there.
Bro said, where's the poverty in Gaza? This is what I mean when I say it's so disingenuous and so monstrous to use Palestinian resilience against them. We're talking about a place where like there's like before October 7th, there's like 56% unemployment. Most of the population is underage. Literally, majority of the population is underage. People literally working for like $1 a day, extreme poverty conditions in general. And that's if they can get a visa into working in Israel. In Palestine, the median age of the population was 19.6 years in 2023, meaning that almost half the total population is comprised of children. Okay, I guess it's not the majority. It might be the majority now, but it's ridiculous. A person in a Norwegian prison is still a prisoner. Just because the prison conditions are better than the American prison doesn't change that reality. And the conditions of the Palestinian open air prison are not exactly great.